We're back with Marta Garcia of the National Hispanic Media Coalition, and we're finding out all about how we can get involved. And Marta, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was, as a journalist, the people who get mad at my opinion columns are the people who dislike what I do. But the people who like it basically read it, put it down, and say, oh, that was nice, and they don't get involved. And that happens a lot in our Hispanic community. People don't write letters to the editor. People don't respond on the internet, as opposed to the people who are anti-Hispanic might get involved because they got mad, and you got to get mad as hell in order to respond.
That's right. Yeah,
Is that your experience?
We have to a large degree, except when you really have the resources to go after the grassroots and educate them and see how they get or why they should get angry. We had an experience with PBS, for example, during the war. Which is a documentary on Latinos, on the Second World War and the veterans and so on. We got a letter from Dr. Maggie Rivas in Texas saying, hey, they excluded us from this. And myself and some others were core members of getting a national movement going. And I must say, once we did that, PBS will never do business with Latinos as they did in the past at all. It will never be the same.
But let's explain. What they did was they covered the Second World War and basically painted the picture as if Latinos were not involved.
We're not involved, right.
They left Latino faces out of it, and there's a lot of Latino veterans who fought in that war.
Exactly.
And died in that war,
And
too.
our strategy was, this is an emotional issue. And here is where we could touch at the core of our public. And this is where I know que los abuelos, las abuelas, the tíos, the tías, they're going to get involved because this is very emotional. Somebody in somebody's family got killed in that war, injured, and that left a mark in our hearts.
So what did PBS do when you protested?
We protested and protested and protested. And when they saw the numbers of people, local people responding, writing letters, making calls, and by the way, we were very astute. We went all the way to the top of the circus, as they call it. We were working with or trying to get the attention of Paula Kerger, who is the president of PBS. And so we went all the way to the top. And I think that that was a very effective strategy. In addition to getting all our partners, what the people began to do is that we gave out the number where to call Paula Kerger. We gave out all the executives where the program was produced, to the point where the producer got involved and said, artistic integrity, artistic freedom, you can't do this to me. The pressure got so big, we had to go to the funders. When Ford and others who had funded the project heard, they said, now hold it a minute. There's time, we have to negotiate. These are
so it's all about
our
dinero.
Customers. So the bottom line is the money. Absolutely. You know, when Anheuser-Busch, Ford Foundation, and others found out that this was massive, they absolutely said to Ken Burns, we got to sit down and talk. We got to find a way to amend this. And it happened. And that was an unprecedented event. And as I mentioned, PBS will never do business as usual with our community. They began outreach efforts. They now have a multi-million-dollar diversity going on. We still have issues with the local WNET PBS station here, right here in New York, who's, by the way, licensed. We challenged in 1989, and we were very successful in getting them to hire more Latinos at the station.